Hello ladies and gents, I'm the Beanie 101 and I'm here with some more NHL 18 Hockey Ultimate Team content, and today I have got my very first team build video of this year. Today we're going to be looking at non-rare gold players and a super cheap team that you can buy that will have you grinding out all of the solo challenges. You can go through the first few divisions of Hockey Ultimate Team and competitive seasons without any problem at all with this team. They've got some good skills, they've got some good speed, and they're pretty complete players, and most importantly you can pick these guys up absolutely dirt cheap. This team I can almost guarantee you'll be able to pick up for around 2,500 3,000 coins. Most of these players you're going to be picking up for about 100 and 150 coins each. So not a lot of outlay for this particular team. Let's get to it and see why I've picked the players that I've picked. First up on our left wing is Sven Birchie. A guy playing for the Vancouver Canucks, and the reason why I've gone for Birchie is he's got decent speed and acceleration. He's got decent balance as well. He's not going to be too easy to knock off the puck, but he does have really good puck skills. His offensive awareness is 84. He's got 84s and 85s across the board for his hands and his shot. He's a really good left winger to start out. Jean-Gabriel Pageau is our #1 centre. He's got 79 for face-offs, which is actually pretty decent for an 81 overall centre, and he's also got 84 for stick checking as well. And across the board he's got decent enough speed and okay hands, but really the reason why you've got Pageau in there is because he's solid up and down the ice. He's a good two-way player. He's got a bit of playmaking skills and some fairly decent hands with 86 deking, but you really want to use him to supply your wingers. Yevgeny Dadonov is our right winger. He has got a hell of a shot. Slap shot power 87. He's got decent accuracy and power on his wrist shot as well. Again, good speed. He's he's a bit more physical than some of the other players that we've got on the team. He's got decent enough balance, and again he's got decent offensive awareness as well. Onto the second line, Connor Sheary, another good player. You can tell by the offensive nature of some of these players, a lot of them are pretty similar. Connor Sheary has one of the highest offensive awareness ratings of all of the players, and he's got good poise as well at 83. Poise is a stat that means that they're going to come up clutch for you. Generally at key moments in the game, their attributes are going to be slightly enhanced. He's going to come out good for you in those sort of situations. Christian Dvorak is actually listed as a left winger, but I've got him as centre in this team because he does have 78 for face-offs. Again, a player that's maybe a bit more physical, a bit more like Dadonov. He's got good puck skills. He's got a pretty decent shot, he's got pretty decent skating, and he's a bit more physical, difficult to knock off the puck, and he's also got decent poise, offensive awareness and defensive awareness as well. So both ends of the ice, your centres are going to be solid. Now, Joshua Ho-Sang. Here is a player that you might have to spend a few more coins on, but he is absolutely worth it. This guy is probably the most dynamic player on the team. He's got some of the highest speed and acceleration. He's got some of the best hands, some of the best deking, and the best shot as well. His offensive awareness is maybe a touch lower than some others, and his defensive abilities are... they leave a little bit to be desired, but Ho-Sang is certainly someone that you want on your team. Braden Point, solid across the board. He's actually got very solid offensive attributes, 85s across the board for his shooting attributes, 85 pretty much across the board for his hands as well, and he's no slouch on the defensive side of the puck either, 84 for stick checking. Letestu's in here as a third line centre because of his face-offs at 82. That is actually pretty good for an 80 overall centre. Really, you're not going to be doing much shooting with this guy, but he's got decent enough hands. He's got okay passing, hand-eye and deking, and he's got okay speed. He's really one of those players that, yeah, okay, fine. He's fine in your third line. You really just want him out there to win face-offs. Burakowski is a player that's maybe a little bit more dynamic. He's got 87 for speed and acceleration. He's got great discipline and offensive awareness. He's no slouch on the defensive side of the puck, but really he's going to be someone that outputs some decent points for you, really facilitating points as a result of his speed. So I really like Burakovsky. He's got good hands as well, and his shot's okay, probably more of a playmaker than a sniper. Moving on to our fourth line, Alex Killorn. We're really starting to get to players now that are probably more well-rounded out overall. You can see that he is a bit more physical, 85 balance, and he's got good checking. So he is a guy that you're going to want to be getting in on the forecheck and crushing people with, but he can also contribute offensively as well. He's got decent enough hands. Haller is someone that's fairly similar. He's more of a defensive player, 83 defensive awareness for our fourth line centre. Only 74 for face-offs. You do have another option here in your fourth line centre slot, and that's Vermette. I find that Vermette doesn't have as good offensive attributes. His shot is considerably weaker, so that's why I've given Haller the thumbs up in this particular situation. And Anthony Duclair is our fourth line right winger. He's got good speeds, probably top speed out of all the players that we've got with 88 speed and acceleration. He also has rocket skates as a synergy as well, so that's pretty good. He's going to be a speedster, someone else you want to get in on the forecheck. Moving on to our defense, Olli Määttä doesn't really have too much of a weakness. His shot accuracy is not fantastic, but 78 puts him definitely in the two-way defenseman category. He's got decent enough hands, he's got decent enough defensive attributes, his shot blocking and his stick checking at 84s. Likewise, he's got decent strength as well. Zach Bogosian is a much bigger defenseman. He's stronger, he's got greater balance, he's got greater checking, and he's got really good shot blocking and stick checking as well. Really good defensive awareness. He is going to be more of our stay-at-home defenseman, but he can certainly get stuff done and contribute offensively as well. Maybe not through his shot, but certainly he's able to pass the puck fairly well. But you do want to pair him with someone that's maybe a little more speedy, because his skating is an 81, whereas Jake McCabe is very, very similar to Bogosian. You can see that I flip back and forward between Bogosian and McCabe. He's got a little bit more speed and similar-ish offensive attributes. Maybe not quite as good defensively, but still pretty solid. He's fairly physical. He's got fairly decent shot blocking and checking. But really you want to pair him with someone more dynamic, and that's where the New York Rangers' Anthony DeAngelo comes in. He's got really good speed. He's got great hands, 86 for passing, some really good offensive awareness. This is the guy that you want to be using to really coordinate your power play. He's going to be your power play QB. He's going to be dishing some assists out there and setting people up on the power play. And he's no slouch defensively, but really you want to pair him with someone more defensive. Calvin DeHaan is someone that's pretty solid overall, very similar to Olli Määttä in many ways, and in some ways he could be better. You could equally put this guy on your first line defensive unit instead of Olli Määttä. He's got similar sort of speed, he's got slightly better shot and a slightly better passing, and defensively he's very, very similar indeed as well. Perhaps not quite as physical as Olli Määttä, but really good across the board. And Edler really rounds out our top six. He's a bit slower. He's very much like Bogosian in that he's a touch more physical, got good balance, got good shot blocking and stick checking, and is a bit more of a stay-at-home defenseman. So really that rounds out our six defensemen. And now we're going to move on to our goalies. And goalies are really much of a muchness. I'm a firm believer that whoever you put in net in Hockey Ultimate Team, you're going to get scored on even if you have the best goalie in the world. So you could probably roll with these two goalies for much of your time in Hut. Philip Grubauer and Al Montoya are the guys that I've gone for. There's a few other guys that you could potentially choose. Calvin Pickard's a good choice as well. He's an 82 overall goalie that you can pick up for next to no coins at all. But I've given Grubauer the slight nod here. We've not got a head coach at the moment. Really pick whatever head coach fits your synergies. I'm not saying you necessarily need to use every single one of these players. These are just players that I've used to flesh out a team, and some considerations that I've made in terms of making sure you have the right sort of players for dirt cheap. Remember, these players are players that you can pick up for nearly 150 coins, so you are going to be able to get some decent play out of this team as your starting Hockey Ultimate Team. Thanks ever so much for watching. I've been the Beanie 101. If you want to see some more NHL Ultimate Team content this year, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and share this video with others if you think it is useful. Thanks for your time, and I'll catch you again in the next video.